that is what happens. You see that again, let simple MAnisha will play a role here. So we use the word 3 types of knowledge and experience. So the first we say paroksha. The word paroksha means it is seen by other who tells me the story. Like the teacher who explains about meditation. So I am other than you. I am explaining. It is my experience. You are getting a knowledge. See that? Even when doing the practice, you want to move into that experience. Paroksha. Paroksha also means indirect. Indirect also means, how do I see you? When the mind claims I see you through the sense organ. So that becomes an indirect knowledge. Indirect perception, indirect knowledge. That is one way of saying it. So there is a little difference, because at least I am able to see you. It is a fact. So this fact is known as perceived, known, experienced directly. I can talk about the sweet and I can put the sweet into your mouth. 2 experiences, 2 different types of a knowledge. These 2 types of the knowledge is very much common in the scientific circle. Now, the matter consists of atom and atom molecule, and the atom consists of electron, proton, neutron. How many people have actually seen it? But then we put our argument, a valid argument, that the scientists have seen it. They have done an experimentation. So a special instrument is required, the electron microscope, by which they have seen. So it is paroksha, indirect knowledge. For those who have seen it, it is a direct knowledge. So both direct and indirect knowledge works. Pratyaksha. Indirect knowledge works. Pratyaksha, we say that yes, this direct knowledge from the sense organ and the mind works. That is what is about the science. Our master says we have a third way of knowing. That is what I have been repeating. One day it will click in your mind and you will say, yes, this is it. And it is done. So that is known as aparoksha. Aparoksha simply means that is not indirect. That also means that is not indirect perceived, even though we consider it as a direct, as a fact, but still it is perceived by the mind and the sense organ. It is direct because we say, I can feel it, I can see you, I can see your shape and the size and the name, the form, gender and everything. So it is direct with reference to sense organ and the mind or the intellect. Now what is the third type of the knowledge that we get? So let me explain you. The ocean water is calm, no disturbances there in the full moon night. Now I see the full moon in the water. The water is the mind. Mind is clear. no disturbances, no distraction. So that real self is the moon that reflects in the mind. From where it has come, the mind cannot say that it has come from outside. I have seen it directly. I met Taras long ago, so I know him. It is not a part of the memory of the mind. Now extend it further. That moon is the self in this example. That moon also throws its moonlight on a muddy water. But I don't see the moonlight. I don't see the moon. So is it the problem of the moon or is it the problem with the muddy water? It is the problem with the muddy water. That's why I cannot see that reflected moon in the muddy water. It appears totally broken. So where is the problem? Problem is in the mind. What is that water? That is the mind. So when the mind is mixed with the mud, the impurities, even the self is present there, I don't recognize it. Are you getting it? Self does not. The moonlight falls on a clean, calm water. I can see the moon. A moon falls on the muddy water. So but then if it is so simple, why not everyone follows the path? Well, if the moon falls on a rock, nothing happens. Except I recognize the rock, but I don't recognize the presence of a moonlight that made me understand it is a rock. So that rock is nothing but closed mind. That rock is Rajasic and Tamasic mind. So Rajasic and Tamasic will question, show me, present the self before me. So let me divide into two. One is inside, one is in front of you, because you cannot be divided. You cannot see anything through the sense organ. You cannot see anything through the mind. So when I understand it clearly, I'm aware of that. What is this? This is a wall. If I want to be a scientist, then I will focus my total attention on the wall. I may forget myself. That is what we say, we are totally absorbed. The scientist is totally absorbed in the research studies to create a coronavirus vaccine. So that knower is totally gone. Only the known, the material world is left. Our master says, everything is good, leave as it is. This is a wall, leave as it is as a wall. Don't break that wall into parts, then your mind will be obsessed with the objective reality. You forget who you are. You see that? So I break the wall into the parts, then I see what are the constituents, and I continue dividing, and the wall is constantly changing, and I claim I know a lot of things about the wall. How do you know about yourself? You don't know anything about yourself. So it means, the MAnisha means that mind is still aware of the knower as well as the known. Doer and subject and the object. So, the moment our mind learns to be aware of the subject and the object simultaneously, that is the meaning of becoming a seeker. I'm talking. That talking is an object. I'm expressing thoughts, feeling, words. Everything is an object. I am present everywhere. I am in the thought but not the thought. I am in the speaking but not the speaking. See that? I am present. I am. I am. Present in the speaking, I am present in looking at you, but I am not looking. It is only I that makes I, alphabet, that I makes my eyes capable to see you. If I is not there, I don't see you. And then what happens? Mind says, leave all the objects. They are there. I see the thoughts and the feeling and the sensations. They are too far. I experience them. They are separate from me. They are not me. And I am totally absorbed into that real self, pure consciousness. Last point, then we will do it. Body can be separated. I can say, here is your body, here is my body. But a close examination reveals that how can I claim that my body is separate from yours? Body is made up of the same matter. If you cut your body, the same blood comes out. If I cut my body, the same blood comes out. Where is the difference? So even from the standpoint of the body, we are not different. What to separate? Matter from the matter. Are you crazy? It is the same body. Appears different. With a label, with a name, with a gender, with a shape, size, we break up into the parts. From the standpoint of consciousness, can I say that my consciousness is different from yours?
We don't know.
I cannot say it. Yes, we don't know, so let us know it. I am aware, that is awareness. You are aware, that is also awareness. Awareness is an expression of the consciousness. That consciousness is borrowed by the mind and expression takes place. Can I separate the space? The space where you are, yours, can I say it is your space and it is my space? The space is one. The space is one. It cannot be divided. It appears divided because there is a wall.
But if you are, you alone. If any objects come, and so it's not you.
Definitely.
So
Yes, go ahead. Be very clear.
we cannot meet each other, Guruji.
We cannot meet each other. That is a standpoint of the mind with reference to the body, with reference to the mind. But with reference to the consciousness, we are one. So there is no question of meeting. How can I help my right hand to meet my left hand?
But for consciousness, there is no Girish, there is no Taras.
Yes.
There is only consciousness.
There is only consciousness.
Not any difference between me and you.
There is no difference, there is no division. There is no duality. To whom to meet whom. So, to meet which space? Another example that Master says, and we need to work on it. Here is a cup made of clay. Okay, can you show me where is the cup? Here at the bottom? No, this is clay. At the top, this is clay. Inside, this is clay. Bottom, clay. Top, clay. Side, clay. Where is the cup? There is no cup. It's only a clay. Cup in appearance.
Yeah, but cup appear when you want to do something outside, to take the water.
But yes, but
the cup come.
Still it is clay. For the sake of convenience, if I say, bring water to me, that does not make a sense. I say, bring a glass of water. So that is applied understanding. In the material world, we have to live with these expressions. If I say, bring water, if I don't say, bring bread, if I say, bring wheat flour, that does not make a sense. So it is all happening at the level of the expression. Whether that expression pointing to the reality is a big question. It is not pointing to the reality. Cup, appearance. Clay, real. You break the cup. We say the cup is broken. Does the clay disappear? Clay is the same. You crush it into a powder. Clay is the same.
Myself that I am exist.
What did you say?
Okay. So we cannot find difference between you and me in the real self.
In the real
self. Because consciousness is one. But I exist and you exist. So existence, it's not my property. It's just part of consciousness.
Yes. I think you are going deeper. That's a very good statement that you made. Understand that part also. When I say I exist because of existence. There is an existence because of which I exist. Take the same example of water and the waves. Because of the water, the wave exists. Water does nothing for the wave to exist, but it is present in the wave. It is the wind that makes the wave to exist. Do you understand that? It is the wave caused by the wind in the water to make the wave exist. Does anything happens to the water?
No.
Does anything happens to the existence? No. Whether it is in the shape of a torus, whether it is in the shape of this beard guy, nothing happens to the existence. Do you see that? Nothing happens to the existence. See it clearly. Nothing happens to the water. Whether there is a strong wind that creates tsunami. Tsunami is nothing but a wave. But water is present. I only exist because of the existence. I feel I am separate from the existence because I consider myself as a wave with a shape, with a name, with a form. And where I go back, I go back to the same water. So for the existence, there is no birth and death, no pain and pleasure. But for the wave, as long as I claim that I am a wave, for as long as I claim I exist today, after 50 years, I do not exist. So what I'm referring to? I'm referring to the body. I'm referring to the mind. I'm referring to the possessions. I'm referring to the wealth, nothing else. The wave has a birth and the death, shape and the size, the label. But the water does not have any shape in the size. Wherever it goes, it takes the same shape. I'm here in a bottle. I'm here in a cup. I'm here in a river. I'm here in an ocean. I'm here in your body. 70%. So that is a rough example pointing to the reality that existence, I don't become aware by which I exist. I want to find the answer of I exist because of I have a different shape, I have a different name, I have a different label. I will never find it.
Yeah, because it's secondary. Existence is primary.
Existence is primary. So we say that existence is Brahma, not Brahma. The meaning of the Brahma is everlasting, all-pervading, beyond time, space, and the causation. You create a million causes in the water ultimately will remain water.
And consciousness and existence, it's two...
That is where we say Sat Chit Anand. Sat is the existence. And that existence extends itself to become consciousness. And that Sat and Chit, Sat and existence in the consciousness becomes the bliss. So whenever you say it is Sat, it is existence, consciousness, bliss. Whenever you say it is bliss, it simply means it is Satchidanand. You use any one of the phrase, the other two goes with it. How? How it goes? Existence. If the existence is not consciousness, then forget about awareness. And because existence and consciousness is the nature of a bliss, permanent happiness. How do I know I am happy? If happiness as an existence is not there, forget about I cannot claim that I am happy. So happiness has to exist because of that existence, because of that consciousness. So it is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda.
Bliss, Ananda and bliss is the same, yeah?
Yeah. Bliss is roughly translated So I have stopped using the word bliss because in this country, the bliss normally is related to a extreme sexual pleasure and fantasy. So I said better to say permanent happiness. But normally, rough translation 50 years ago, it used to be bliss. Because the mind is living in ignorance, that ignorance makes the mind run outside to create a desire, and the desire prompts me to act to secure happiness in the world outside. So I am running all the time outside.
Desire is part of the mind. And mind is part of the material life.
Yes.
But my existence is not material part.
It is not material.
Because granted, it's given me.
Yes. You are perfectly pointing to the right thing. So when you can't... Yeah. Go ahead.
So I have to aware this not material part of myself.
I like it. So you can apply one principle for contemplation. One master says there are only two things in the world, not the third. Whether you say two things, matter, consciousness. Whether you say non-self, self. Whether you say knower, known. Now take an example of no, we are many. Your body and my body is different. How come they are different? They are made up of the same material. We have broken them into parts for the sake of convenience. After all, 106 or 108 elements that we scientists have discovered, after all, we say they all are elements. Their electronic configuration is different, but essentially they are elements. So exactly the material world as such is only one. But the problem comes, mind says I'm different from you. It does not want to believe that we are both same. So that is the impurity, that is the part of the ignorance. Because I say this is my body, but that body is made up of the same material, and still I claim this is not my body. See that? Material is the same. Basic element is the same. Now I see that. Now pay attention to this. It's a very important topic that you entered into it. You are getting into it. First I say, I am different from you. How come the body? And you are a beautiful woman. You are different from me. What will happen? Ask your mind. So now, understand from where the desire has come. First level of ignorance that you are different from me. Now see where the desire has come. Because my mind has an desire since birth to secure permanent peace and happiness. But now I find it very near to me. So I have a desire to possess you, to own you, to have a pleasure. Right? So now I have a desire in the mind. So what should I do? That desire prompts me to act, to fulfill my desire. So one action, I have taken an action. I got 1 unit of pleasure. One day. Second day, maybe 5 unit or maybe nothing happens. But mind has made it a habit to run in the world to secure permanent peace and happiness, which is only a short-term pleasure. And that idea of a short-term pleasure has come from the mind living in ignorance that we two are different. Otherwise, you cannot get pleasure from anything outside in the world. If your mind doesn't claim that outside people, object, things are different from me, forget about pleasure. If they are one with me, they are the same, why desire will be there? Why the desire will be there? Just see that. There will be no desire. So I have to contemplate, reflect, contemplate and reflect. So you see that it starts with an ignorance. Then the ignorance in the mind says, you are different from me. I am different from you. So now the third level, the desire. I always desire. Desire means what? I have repeated it before, I'm repeating it again. Desire means what? The mind is seeking something other than me. If the mind did not believe that there is anything other than me, how the desire will happen in the mind? And if the desire will not happen in the mind, why this mind will start running and will say, I have lot of thoughts, my mind is crazy, my mind. There is no question of mind wandering. Do you see that? So you see that. Desire means what? It has three elements. First element, coming from the ignorance. What is that ignorance? That my mind has divided me from the rest of the world. Then only I can label a woman as a wife or a man as a husband. Otherwise there is no question. So because of ignorance I have divided. First thing. Because I have divided, so I am different from the rest of the world. So the mind moves to the next level of craziness, which we say desire. So now what is desire? So I build my castle where there is no ground on it. What is that? I am seeking other than me. Why I am seeking? That is the first point. First element of a desire. The second element of a desire is that I am seeking other than me for getting happiness. But why I am seeking other and why I am seeking happiness? Because I don't know happiness is within me. That is another part of ignorance. See that? So because my mind claims 100% it is the truth that happiness is not within me. So what happens? Fourth factor, my mind is agitated. It says, no, see, happiness is outside. See the object, see the person. If you get this thing, this will happen. So mind is constantly agitated. So when the mind, then what the mind will do? It will act. Avidya, kama, karma. Gita. Principle of Gita. Avidya, ignorance. Kam is desire. And it prompts me to act. Act means to possess, to own, to enjoy that object. So even every individual human being also becomes an object for me, for pleasure. That is why we have a problem of relationship. I'm not going there. I'm returning again. We will take that issue later. So it means, there are, couple of factors. I'm seeking something other than me, which has come from ignorance. Why I'm seeking happiness. Why I'm seeking happiness? Because I find the happiness is not within me. Because I'm seeking happiness and happiness is not within me, the mind is constantly agitated, which I'm not aware. I have become so much habitual that gives me the fatigue. That mind demands sleep for 10 hours, then only you'll be able to sleep. You don't need that much. The mind is constantly agitated. We have become so much mechanical and habitual that we don't realize. Now see, the magic happens that we don't realize. So I desire for an object, I think about it, I am attached to it. If I am not attached to any object, I cannot desire. Come on. There must be an attachment. If there is no attachment, but attachment comes from liking. And liking comes from the fact that this object is different from me. See that? See the point? How these masters have understood this. So it is a different from me, still I like it. I like it constantly. I am attached to it. I am attached to it. It creates a desire. And then the desire prompts me to an action. So we have come to an action. So now see that what happens. Mind is agitated to eat pasta in a particular restaurant which I have experienced in the past. So the pasta is served on the table. So that agitated mind calms down. And the happiness is reflected for some time, as long as I eat pasta, inside me, not in the pasta. Pleasure is not there in the pasta. Because the mind is totally focused on the pasta, because it gives me the happiness, but that agitation has gone down, agitation is gone, so the mind is clean. For a brief period, I see the glimpse of that happiness inside me. It is not in the pasta. I see that happiness inside me at the time of a sexual act. It is not outside. Simple logic. If the happiness is in pasta, then everyone should eat pasta to get happiness. One, every time you eat pasta, it should give you happiness. See the understanding. Clarity. We don't need too much of complex intellect to understand that. So it means the happiness is not present in the pasta. It means the mind, while seeking pasta, has projected happiness there. That is why it is running there. That is why it is taking an action. Now another magic happens in the world of ignorance. Plain paper. Right. So when I desire and think and attach, so I have written on the front of the mind. Whatever you write on a paper on the front, and if you turn it back, you have the impression. That impression is known as vasana. That impression is known as the past impressions. I like Tyrus, impression is created. I hate Tyrus, impression is created. I don't like this attitude, impression is created. I like, but let me accept it. So now those past impressions in millions reshape my attitude, behavior, and personality in relationship. And that is why we have a cases of divorce. One example in the world today. See that. So now what is happening? Casually, what a big deal. People say, what a big deal. I'm seeking pleasure in the sex or in a beer or in a what a big deal. I said, there is no big deal. As long as you are enjoying outside, but you are not aware what is happening inside. This mind will become so much crazy, you can even control by your intellect. but the past impression will remain. And it will make you crazy sometime.
So desire working like drugs.
Desire works like a drug. So there are 8 factors, but ultimately the desire. Why the desire? Because of I experience that I am different from the rest of the world. And that world is made up of objects, people, things, ideas, and lot of stuff. So because I am separate from it, I see happiness is there, so I project that happiness. When I project that happiness, when it reaches to a peak, see that. When it reaches to that intensity of the desire in me reaches to the peak. I am a tamasic person. I want that object by hook or crook. What happens? Crime, violence, rape. You see, it is happening because of this desire only. I am a Rajasic person. So Rajasic, boost your mind, follow the society, follow the rules, find out, prepare a project, gain more knowledge of the world, or a trade or a profession. My son was saying inside, now you see that we have been working from home, and he has earned 3 more certification, the higher certification in the IT. My now target is 500,000. I said, okay. I was listening. I said, okay, go ahead. You see, Dad, what I was saying? I said, yes, I agree with you. You see that? So for a trade, for outside, the mind starts moving outside. So Rajasic people, they do crime in a very sophisticated manner. White collar crime. But still the idea is the same. Idea is the same. And if you follow in a sattvic manner, you see that this guy is asking me a bribe. There is no way the things cannot be done. So you don't make it a habit. You even give the bribe and you forget it. But you see that you are doing the things rightly. Your services, your practices, your objects, your delivery is of the highest quality, even after giving a bribe. That is a part of the outsource system. That is what the business management in spirituality is. You see that? So there what happens, you are 100% clear. The more you act in a tamasic way, it will backfire you. It will create more impression. The more you do it in a very sophisticated way, increasing your IQ, claiming that I'm clever. Clever is always intelligent people. So being intelligent is one thing, and being intelligent and clever and cunning is totally different. See that? So in Sattvic, you are definitely intelligent, you know it, and you use this bribe as a play and fun. Okay, yeah. So this is, see that, this I'm doing, but at the same time, I will give the best quality. So you have a job to do. Find out who else is supplying you this thing in your company. What is their parameter? You supply all the details to me, and I am ready to bribe you. You are creating an indelible impression on that guy who is moving in a tamasic way. You are doing his things. You see, that is what our masters explained, that you have to play with the sattvic guna, even while performing your business. And when you do that, you are happy. At least that intelligence has not gone down, it has not used the cunning approach. Because if you use the cunning approach, it will divide your mind. Then your mind is engaged in the business 24/7. So you keep it aside, you make it free. That is also a sattvic approach. So we have to understand that clearly in doing a business, in interacting with the people outside. No way. The system is like this. How can you do it? How can you say the muddy water is a clean water? You have to work in that mud. You have to make yourself dirty, but only on the surface, like a lotus flower. They are grown in the mud, but they remain untouched. So that is why those examples are there. They say, no, do it. That is what you do it. You are aware that your essential nature is Satchidananda, not less than, not more than that. So I want to go out of this room, so I need not to hit the wall to go out of the room. So there are people like this. Understand it clearly. Make it very clear. This guy is like this. So more I hit, it means, if I fight with this guy, it means I have to hit. No way, don't fight. No fighting. Find the way, find the door. Bring that guy with you together. He may or she may think that you are moving in a tamasic way. You see that? He is also bribing. But that is a play for you. And you extract one more thing from them. One example that I gave you, that ask him that who else are supplying it, what is their quality, supply me all the details. Or find anything. I'm just citing an example. Find everything about that example. And you extract everything, so now you are moving with the knowledge. So when you always move with the right knowledge, you are following a sattvic path. That is the thing. You extract the okay. And then you have all the material with you, all the technicalities, and then you compare. Can I improve my product? Improve it. Improve it. Write the detail. I have added this improvement also. See that. So this is one example, can be applied in human relationship also. Human relationship. In business. In dealing with our son and the daughter, in dealing with the stranger, in dealing with the friends. So it is not that you are my friend, so I should, if I'm working based on the sattvic guna, one thing is clear, that my intellect cannot be cunning and clever, cannot manipulate. One thing is very clear. And if it is not manipulating and it is not cunning, then my mind is not wandering. There is no fear. There is no anxiety. There is no reaction at all. Next time the same guy comes, I am very clear. He should be afraid. Others should be afraid. Why should I be afraid? And even in the future, when something is exposed, I paid you for understanding that how can I supply the better quality than what I am doing now. Now see that. So your mind is 100% clear. That is what the MAnisha is. And it is not difficult. We don't need IQ. I don't need. You want to go to Harvard and Oxford, you need higher IQ. But at least you become a genius, you earn $1 million, you also become a manipulator. I heard, I forgot his name, last year this guy came from South India. And he entered into a stock market. And he did the back trading. In that back trading, he earned $70 million. FBI was, he was on surveillance of the FBI for the 3 years. At the time of doing the back trading, all the phones were recorded. Now he is serving a life term. All the $70 million were taken away by the federal government. It goes directly into the Radsik. No. So it appears, that pleasure, that makes, and what happened, see? The Bill Gates, in another case, he was also an Indian, and because that Indian gave about $50 million as a donation to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So after understanding the case, he was also in the prison for another 50 years now. His name is some Mr. Gupta. Bill Gates pleaded in the court, even though he is a manipulator, but he used that money for helping others. The court rejected the plea. At the first instant, he was wrong. So I have to punish him for the first instance, not the second one. Let him serve the prison term from 25 years, let him come out of that, and then we will see what reward he gets because he donated $50 million to the foundation. Apply the same. So understanding that. First level is ignorance. The moment. Now, what is MAnisha? Why don't you listen to me? I'm angry. In the background, the ignorance is working because I have separated you from me. Now become aware. What you will do, you'll have a smile on the face. Come on, Taras. Come on, honey, sit. Let us talk together. You still do the work. See that? Every moment you break that delusion. Every moment. You're still working. For the sake of living in the material world, you are making the other person understand that you are different from me. So listen to me. But actually it is not inside. You see, your tamasic guna is gone. Your rajasic guna is gone. Sometime it happens for the employees. You show your resentment. You make a big face. This is not the way to work. But internally you know. You are moving with Satviguna. That is what Krishna did. That is what Krishna did in his entire life. He kept smiling and he killed people also. So, that is what I say, that you play and perform your role every time you live in the world, and living the existence as it is means what? Now that small I is merged into the existence. Merging into the existence means what? When a drop of a water merges into the ocean, it becomes an ocean. So now I am Satchidananda. I am Satchidananda. I am the existence. I am the absolute existence. I am the absolute consciousness. I am the absolute bliss. So we look back. Ignorance, then the duality. Duality comes. The duality creates a desire. The desire prompts me to action. Then now action gives me two results. Let us go a little more deeper. So when you listen to it and you contemplate, that will help you. Now, why the action does not deliver me the result based on my 100% desire? Master says action is always defective. Action always is defective. Action is done because of ignorance that the happiness is outside. Therefore, action is defective. You may say that I have excelled and I have graduated, earned the certification. Everything is good. But why you earned the certification? Because of pleasure outside. Because of recognizing. Because of three things. Power, pleasure, possession. Why I want to own a mansion? Own it in a sattvic way. Master is not saying don't own it. Why the hell Buddha had such a huge monasteries throughout India? It's a label, it's a name monastery. You say it is a home, a mansion for Buddha. Same thing. Material is the same. What the hell you do in that big mansion, so-called monastery? Don't you sleep? You sleep there. Don't you eat? You eat there. Don't you go to the restroom? You do the same thing. Only the proportion. Your hours of meditation may be more than a material man. Otherwise, there is no difference. You see that? So ignorance, and then the duality, and then the desire, then the action is always defective. That is why this action will produce twofold result. Which mind says profit or loss, victory or defeat, pain or pleasure. So if the desire brings the profit, what the mind says? Go for it again. Get more. You see that? Greed. Loss is there, then what happens? The mind goes into anxiety, anger, hesitation. So, what happens? This mind is fully aware that every action has opposite results. It knows inside. You go and propose to a beautiful woman, I love you. There is always two possibilities. It can never be only one. It can be only, it cannot. So that the confusion remains in the mind all the time. It is because of the confusion my mind is wandering. See that? So from that confusion, now you see that a chain reaction is happening. Ignorance, duality, desire, action, confusion. This confusion leads to delusion. What is delusion? What I see, it appears true, but it is not true. I should have 10-bedroom house near the sea beach. Why? To have the happiness. That is the delusion. You make the house. You have the resources, make it. Intelligently make it. Intelligently use it. That is what Buddha did. When many kings paid him lot of money, he started building the monastery. Everywhere. In all different parts of the world. Different parts of India. So he used it for sattvic way. Knowledge. Oh, let the monastery will come, let lot of people will join. Even if they do not reach to the ultimate, they will learn something. So there must be some resources, some format. Let it be help. So remember again, ignorance. I don't know. What is ignorance? So it leads me to duality. This duality is ignorance. I am different from the rest of the world. So that desire, from the desire you have kama. From kama you have the karma, action. And that action gives me twofold result, opposite result. So that keeps the confusion all the time inside. Why the confusion leads me delusion? and the delusion leads me to suffering. And from the suffering, when I'm suffering, what I see, see that Taris is a millionaire, I don't have money. Again, I started with the duality. You see, I'm suffering. You see that what sin I have done to the people, God, why I am suffering, why you are so kind to Bill Gates. I'm dividing. Again, I started with the same ignorance. So the cycle is complete. And this is known as the cycle of birth and death. Because I'm reborn again and again. How? How I'm reborn again and again. See that point.
I didn't. Again and again.
From one waking state today, I move to the next waking state tomorrow, and I'm doing the same stuff. Same stuff. Same thing. I don't want to be aware. I don't want to see that, why the hell you are doing same thing again and again. And I'm expecting the different result by doing the same thing again and again. Which is the height of nonsense, which is the height of ignorance. Do you see that? So when you see that, then what happens? Mind is wandering? No. There is no need for the mind to wander. No need at all. Because now it is the same mind realizes that wandering will never give you any result. At least permanent peace and happiness will not be there. So it stops wandering. When it stops wandering, it does not forget because I'm obsessed with some object to fulfill it. So obsession is not there. You see, I'm talking of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, 5 subjective states. So first 3 states are already done with. So what is left? One-pointedness. Did you force your mind to be one-pointed? No. You need not to work on the mind to force the mind to be one-pointed. Because the other stuff not required is not there. What is not desired is not there. And what is desired, the mind is always looking there. What is the meaning of this? Do you remember? I'm reminding you again. The meaning of the sadhana. Do you understand? Sadhana means what is not desired, leave it. All our neighbor's house, I know they are separate. I have left it. They are neighbor's house. And what is desired? This is my home. The mind is naturally one-pointed. And that mind always succeeds in meditation. That mind always succeeds in meditation. There is no doubt about it. That